history in corruption. That's public knowledge too. If you don't know Whitewater, if you don't know the Benghazi situation, if you don't know the the Clinton Foundation and what they actually do, go check out Haiti. They knew there was going to be massive opposition to Hillary, yet they forced her upon the Democrat Party. Why? Why would you do that? Bernie would have been a much better choice for the Democrat Party to run as a presidential candidate. And he was winning. But they, in the Democrat Party, cheated. So let's pretend they set Trump up to take out the Republican leadership. Who is going to vote for Jeb Bush? Who is going to vote for anybody? There was a couple decent people, but they had no money behind them. They had no help. And they didn't have, sorry to say, you on the left who do not like Trump for any reason, they didn't have the charisma of Trump. People just gravitate to Trump, like it or not. So if they were to infiltrate the Republican Party with Trump, take it over, throw up a Hillary Clinton, cheat her way into that as being his opposition, then start an opposition movement against Trump, all the while picking fights with Russia, they look clean. They look like they're doing the right thing if you haven't put in the fact that they just cheated Bernie out of the presidential nomination. Maybe this is a giant psyop, and this is exactly the way the New World Order wanted it to happen. They had to split everybody apart, and they're going to use Trump. It could be that this whole thing was planned from the beginning, the problem, reaction, solution, so that the last stages of the New World Order, and please check out State Department 7277, is it possible that stage 3, which is the final stage, which would put us right into the New World Order, right on time, let you chew on that for a little while. We've got to take a break. We're way long. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Don't move a muscle. John LeBang Show. Right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Their billers and managers are all dedicated to working for you to increase your profits. For more information, call CRRM at 248-579-3805. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show. Now here's John.
You know, it's so easy to manipulate everybody when they've got us all into these little cliques. They've got us all gravitating to certain ideas and certain patterns and certain... It's almost like a religion. We congregate with the people who only think a certain way, and then when there's an opposition to that, we find a way to clash. And it's so easy to make us clash because we've already divided ourselves. We've also already segregated ourselves. I mean, it goes beyond like religious status now and racial issues. We're divided for every little thing possible. And the ones that are easily distracted on top of it and who have maybe some very narcissistic behavior, you can mold that into people who will do practically anything for a cause. And because of that, if the power elite, whoever you want to call them, you know, we even argue over that. Is it the Illuminati? Is it the New World Order? What is the... It's people who want to stay in power, who already have power, who have all the money and wealth. They talk about the 1%. There's a 1% above that 1%. Those are the people that really dictate how the world goes. And everybody else down the pyramid is just a puppet for them. And if you're trusted enough, you get to be higher up towards the apex of the pyramid. And the closer to that very top of the pyramid that you are, the more freedom and luxuries you'll be able to obtain. And you'll be able to control people as well. Because that's one of the greatest secrets, is using people to do the bidding for yourself. The puppeteers, the people who manipulate everybody. Sometimes it's as easy as manipulating them with a paycheck. Other times you've got to blackmail them. But whatever it is, these people in the higher rungs of human existence, these people know how to manipulate the rest of us if you allow them to manipulate you. And because they don't care if a stragglers of one or two can't be manipulated, a lot of times they find a way to criminalize them. Because they know how to get a whole lot of people to do what they want. And so they don't get busted. They make sure the other side of whatever divide, whatever issue or entity, political struggle, whatever they need a division on, they make sure that there's an opposition there so that the people fight amongst themselves. The right fights the left. The liberals fight the conservatives. The Muslims fight the Christians. They manipulate all that. And the people at the top may have affiliations with each one of these groups. But they're more loyal to their ultimate group, the hierarchy of the world power structure, whatever it may be. And we here at the bottom, doesn't matter who we are, it happens all the time. We struggle with each other in naming who the problem is. It's Trump, it's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's Putin. When these people, for the most part, are taking advice, we'll say, that is the politically correct way of saying they're being manipulated, being directed into doing things. And a lot of people go, no, Trump's his own man. He might be. But it is such a difficult feat to become the president of the United States. You wonder if anybody who makes it up that high is ever clean and is ever their own man or woman. You know, you want to believe in a leader, right? It's easy to go, man, this guy, we voted for him. We're going to believe in him. We're going to follow his lead because we put him there. But you have to look objectively at everything that not only he is doing, but what the opposition is doing. We even have people in the alternative because there's been a splintering there. You had the dialectic left-right, problem-solution, that type thing. As a consumer of world events, as people who watch what happens, there's been a splintering off into what I would say a third path. And they call that the alternative. And sometimes you look at the alternative and you go, okay, they're more correct than the left or the right because they seem fairer at times. But then you look deeper because they, as a collective, the alternative means anything not of the mainstream. You collect people who are a little wacky because there's nowhere else to put them. And those people in that alternative also get demonized as whack jobs and crazies. So you get the good with the bad or the bad with the good. And usually there's always more bad than good. You want to think people are good. And maybe a lot of people in your life are good. But because everybody has a point where they break from the rest of society, they separate. And whatever that break may be, that's where the mainstream elite and their masters manipulate the rest of us. And I've been manipulated. Everybody has fallen into the trap at some point in their life. Usually, it's when you're younger. And hopefully you learn not to fall into that trap. And even to this day, you've got to watch out as somebody who is aware that they try to manipulate us. That certain events will happen to strike at you personally, and you have to make conscious efforts to keep yourself on the straight and narrow and not fall into the manipulation. But it's hard. And when you have the left-right paradigm going at it constantly, and ultimately the overall goal is being achieved, it doesn't matter. It continues to move forward. Left, right, left, right. It continues to walk towards the ultimate goal. And every once in a while, a chink happens, or they throw a wrench in it themselves for whatever reason. Not sure. You never know what the people at the top of the world are doing and why they're doing it and why they have chosen this moment. There are people, researchers out there, that can give you clues to why they're doing it if you pay attention, if you're willing to have a thinking mind. But if you're one of those people that voted for Trump and Trump's perfect, Trump's great, Trump's doing a great job, and not realizing that sometimes he's not doing such a great job, then you're caught into that trap. There's not a person on the planet that's always right. And there's not a person on the planet that's always wrong. Some people are wrong more often than others. It can happen, that's for sure. The banger has felt it. I've tried to, hopefully, at least convey when I have been wrong. Convey that, yeah, I was wrong. It's really this. And I think you've noticed in how I report these days or how I commentate on the current events that I've centralized my thinking on this. I've played it a bit safer, you could say, with my commentary. And if I can't 100% prove something, I don't do it. I don't tell you about it. And if I do tell you about it, it's usually me theory crafting. And I tell you, this is a theory. I'm just crafting here. And I'm talking to you, people who listen, my friends. That's why we congregate every week on this channel that you're listening to me on. You join in the conversation one way or the other, either through your emails or if the station has a chat room, you give your 2 cents there. And I appreciate all the people who give time to the show, and we've been really lucky that we've had such great support in the last few weeks to where we can now actually move forward in our plans to upgrade the station and the show. Because we were in dire need. We didn't know what we were going to do. We were up against the wall. Tough. We didn't think we could expand anymore. We didn't even know if we could maintain our current level of excellence because our technology was so far outdated that it was hindering what we were doing here. Now I've made this whole show, or at least this segment, very personal. Instead of talking about what is happening out there. But I don't think my listeners come to hear just news. I don't think that's the truth. I think once you start really getting a grasp for this show, you understand and you appreciate the diversity, the variety of the content. And sometimes we're very serious and other times we're very loose. Hopefully you'll be noticing the changes real soon. We've got a couple more episodes